Hi, what's happening? Hello, and welcome to Five Star Conversations in the Sun City. And I am Michelle Emtre Hollis, a TEDx speaker and restaurant revenue strategist, coming to you out of El Paso, Texas, and reaching the entire universe. That's what we're aiming for here. Putting El Paso on the map, but really just elevating and highlighting the culinary industry for what it is and for the opportunities, in my experience and in my belief, to really uh, gather and attract more of your local ecosystems dollars into your establishment. A lot of people feel as if running and owning a restaurant is not profitable. A lot of times the people believe and recognize the profit margins to be low. In restaurants, people like, I've heard Cody Sanchez, who talks a lot about businesses. Uh, uh, Maybe I feel like even Layla Hermosi, I could be mistaken, but those are two marketing business gurus in the social media space that are very big. They're women also, but a lot of people like them. Cody for sure, not sure on Layla, but a lot of people say they would not own a restaurant because they don't feel like the profit margins are high enough. The way that business is ran for restaurants are run now, that is, probably the case for a lot of people. I don't personally believe it needs to be that way. I believe that if restaurants are ran more like a business, and I'm talking local restaurants, as long as if they have a great product, and that's the if here, and that's the if in any business. If you have a great product, if you have a great product, you should be focused on growth and on making a lot of money, as much as you can make in your area. If that's not what you're doing the business for, yes, you want to do it because you love it, but you should be profit driven, just like any other business. And it is possible. And what I'm going to talk to you today about, if you're a restaurateur, today's conversation is going to be how to be growth minded, have a growth mindset, and attract growth minded people into your organization, growth minded talent into your organization. That is what we're going to talk about. And actually, we're going to talk about this particular segment of this conversation over the course of the next few Tuesdays, because you can be on the lookout for a conversation on Tuesdays here on YouTube. And this is when I'm going to be posting these videos sometime on Tuesday. I will get more systematic about the time, but right now, I'm still building my business, and my business is to support restaurateurs like yourself and growing brands to, first of all, to be growth minded. And that begins with the art of profit and scale, which is attract, retain, and train quality front of house staff. And then once you really get your systems in place, your people in place, simultaneously making sure that you are focusing on running your marketing, sales, and backing that up with a superb guest experience so that you can create consistent, predictable business and projected business, and have the opportunity to systematically open more locations and continue to attract the best talent in your area. That's what I'm doing, and those are the systems that I've created and creating to support you in that effort. However, it all starts with really having a growth mindset and thinking differently. The way that you grow, the way that anyone grows a business is so different today than it's been in the past. So, as a restaurateur, you cannot do things the same way and expect different results. The restaurants that are going to really grow in my experience and from what I've learned and gathered by being the diversity, equity, and inclusion co-champion of a 30,000 plus member sales community that I connected into on LinkedIn and really got to see and learn in real time how people are leveraging social media, um, and personal brand, how to connect with people to learn from on the different platforms and to share your expertise in technology specifically. I learned a lot about that because this sales and marketing community was SaaS oriented, which is software as a service. Now, if you have a restaurant, you're using technology, and most likely you're either changing in the process in the past few years, whether it's been just over the past two, ever since, the pandemic, whether it's been since then or whether you haven't yet, but you're definitely thinking about it, you're probably looking into updating your technology in the way that you are documenting your information, the way that you're acquiring new guests to come into your restaurant, and all of these things. Very important things to do. So today, what I'm going to talk to you about, and specifically, is what my belief is after learning from these SaaS companies, seeing, working and seeing people get venture capital dollars, angel investors to come in and to invest in their businesses. This is in the technology space, and seeing how people are taking these products in technology and software and building communities around them and uh, getting investment dollars and attracting new clients through different channels. Watching people do that in the tech space, I realize restaurants or any really industry should run their business like a startup. Because when you run your business like a startup, you're running for growth, you're optimizing for growth. Okay. And so why not do that in the restaurant industry? There's so many people that still are trying to run restaurants the way they were ran pre 2020, we'll just say. And it's not going to work. It doesn't work the same. You can't just rest on your laurels today. You can't just run legacy media meaning, the news, print ads, radio ads. You can't just run ads and expect to get loyal repeat business because there's just so much competition. There's so many new restaurants that have emerged since 2020. Several shut down, a lot of people, some made it through, but now they're just really popping up everywhere, and food trucks. And now you've got to compete. If you're a full service restaurant, you're competing with, with people getting takeout. So you really have to do something different to attract and to create community that will keep coming back and bringing their friends and then attracting the tourists, being the talk of the town, so much so that you become a household name in your community and you are attracting the highest level of client for your particular brand. That should be your focus, hands down, you know? And so what I'm going to go over really quick, this is going to be a short one, is today. Okay, so my point was that you should be running your restaurant like a startup. Okay, a startup, they have a great product. They know this. Okay, a startup software company, I should say. Because with a startup software company, you have a great product. Yes, there's operations, but it's not, and so you do have to have an operations mindset because you are producing a product, like a physical product. So it is more kind of like industrial manufacturing in that way, because you are needing to make sure that your product is standing up to your quality assurance. But so it's different in that way. Like that's a piece that's very important. But I would put that into the customer satisfaction or the customer experience. Customer success is what the technology world would call that. Customer success. How are the customers enjoying the product? And the experience is the product with restaurant. Okay. So in the tech space, mostly everything, because once in the software as a service space, you create a software and pretty much, I mean, yes, you're going to continue to improve upon that product, but they focus more heavily on sales, marketing, and guest experience. So there's that. The other side of software as a service and which companies really propel forward is their employee or subcontractor experience. The companies that really move forward are the ones that really give great support to their employees. And that's great training. They encourage them to join communities and to flourish in that way. So this should be the same. This same framework can be completely applied to restaurants. You should be consistently training on sales, how the front of the house should sell, and how they can upsell, and how they can create the better guest experience by offering the best products and services that the guest is prepared to enjoy. That's the way I look at it. So it's not about just trying to oversell, but it's making recommendations and allowing the guest to guide you by you asking the right questions and you being prepared to offer the best option, which the best support is usually going to be the higher ticket offer. The best experience at a restaurant is going to be the higher price wine. It's going to be the porterhouse steak, or it's going to be the high. It's going to be a heightened experience, and it's going to cost more. And also, in the customer's eyes, even if we're just going on psychology, in the customer's eyes, the higher priced item is worth more and is giving them the opportunity to experience more. And that could even be perceived, but it's a well-known fact in psychology that this is the case, that simply the way you price something gives a perceived value. And so that doesn't change in restaurant. So what they call this in the technology space is RevOps, revenue operations. It's marketing, sales, and customer success. You want to make sure that you have a management, one of your managers or people in management, that there's someone on your team that is focused on sales and marketing and not just social media marketing, or not just posting, I should say, not just posting videos and running ads on Facebook and Instagram, but you want to have a more holistic approach to marketing if you really want to grow and bring attention to your brand fast. And do that targeted in the right communities, because that's very important that you do that. So then that's the marketing. Now, when you get people into your experience, from the moment that they book their table on Open Table or they call to make a reservation, you want to make sure that the brand experience is permeating through from the very beginning. So even your Open Table experience, you want to make sure that is running smoothly. You want to make sure that when people call that they have someone that they're able to leave a message or that they're able to talk to someone as quickly as possible and book that table with you, because if they don't book it with you, they're going to book it with somebody else. So you want to make sure that that experience that you're getting back to people right away, that's marketing. And then that also is sales. You want to make sure that when they come into the restaurant and when they have a seat, that their experience from the moment that they step in is one that is full of inclusivity, that is inviting, that is warm, and that is offering them an experience that includes educating them on your menu, explain to them why you are, sharing some of your secret sauce, and not how to make it, but just what is the secret sauce and how can you uh, get them excited about being there to try this and why it's going to be special. And that's part of the customer experience. And then how are you giving them the opportunity to continue to stay in touch? And then are you staying in touch? The email, that's when how you're putting them on an email list. And then that way you can continue to remind them or inform them when things are happening, when, you're having special events, when your menu is changing, what your special is. Every now and then you can share your special. If you are running a special for the week, that's an easy way to non-invasively just share information that's new and fresh and can entice uh, your already happy guests to come back. So I just wanted to share, I think that's important for you to see that there are ways to engage your guest and your audience in ways that maybe you haven't thought of yet. And that if you think of running your business if you think growth mindedly and you use every opportunity to shine, to really just to amplify what makes you special and why people should come visit your restaurant, then you will continue to pique interest and you will continue to be able to bring people back. So I wanted to, like I said, this is going to be a series because there's so many different places to go on that. And I do want to let you know that there is still a docu-series that is in play, that will be worked on. So super excited about that. Sorry, I've like got a sneeze or something. um, and also, so this podcast, this weekly podcast, this is more for tips and tricks. Uh, I love the sponsor that I started with. His name's Edgar. Love him to pieces. There just were some, alignment issues and timing issues. So we're no longer moving forward with that. That's completely okay. I still love him. You still should go to AG Cellular Phone Repair. And he's on Gateway East, past Lee Trevino. And he has a shop where he can help you with your phone repair. There were just some timing and alignment issues that just didn't work out, and that happens. Hopefully if you're watching this and you're a restaurateur or any business owner for that matter, but obviously this is directed to restaurateurs, but and owners, operators, what have you, the plan you start with won't necessarily be the plan you finish with, but you've got to get started. And you got to get started doing something different. Community is big. That's why I loved working with Edgar. And we will still work together in some capacity in the future. I'm sure of that. And that's why you build good relationships with people, because community is everything. So, and as a restaurant owner, you better know your community members. You better know whose businesses are right around the corner from yours. You should know that. Somebody in your business should be documenting all that stuff. And you should invite people. Even think about this. What if just once a week you invited one business owner? This is a great tip right here. I'm just saying. Once a week for a year, you invited one business owner around you to come get a free appetizer. Who cares if all they do is order the appetizer and have drinks? But most people are going to do more than that. But what if you invite them in to have a free appetizer and you don't it's not like you're going to send it's not like you're going to direct message them on Instagram like if you have a five-star restaurant. If you have a five-star restaurant or if you have a Michelin star five-star restaurant or you're fine dining, the way you approach this would be a lot different than if you have a casual dining experience. Okay, so the method in which you do it is going to be different because you do want it to be on brand. But if you have a fine dining place, and I can't believe I'm giving the game away, this is such a great idea. If you have a fine dining establishment, you go on LinkedIn and invite, you look up some of the you figure out the businesses, the medical centers, whatever that are close by. You put those in. You find the doctors, the staff that's working in these places, and you just say, "Hey, I noticed you're our neighbor. I just wanted to extend a hello and let you know that we would love to have you come by anytime this month and have an appetizer on us just to visit and just to say thank you for being a good neighbor." Or something like that. I'm totally just freestyling this. So obviously I would think it through a little bit more to make it more customizable and make it more, sleek and chic and high level. But you get the idea. I would have someone call the maitre d'. I'm the maitre d' of this restaurant, or I'm one of the managers, and we're neighbors, and I don't know if you've dined with us yet, but I just wanted to extend the invitation. All you have to do is call this number, give them your name, and let them know that I invited you. And that way, when they call and make their reservation, or if they make it on Open Table, they put that information in. That's exclusive. They feel seen. They feel heard. Now, if you can do that. Honestly, I would recommend doing that either way, whatever kind of establishment you have. But you can also, if you want to offer something, I've seen people on Instagram who have like a little shop, and they have sent me a $2 off coupon just in my DMs on Instagram, like, hey, we want to offer you $2 off. And that was fine too. And I did take advantage of it. So that's fine too. That would be a different approach. I wouldn't use that same approach in fine dining, but you get the point. This is community outreach, and you want to do community outreach in your community. The only difference I would say there is that I haven't gone back to that place. So having a more direct approach may be, or having a different kind of conversation may work too. And also, I think really the only reason I haven't gone back is because it's really far from where I live. It's like 20 minutes away in a direction that I don't typically go. So really, that was the only reason. But it was enough for me to come out there, and to give it a try. So this is why I say you want to ask your neighbor, you want to locate your neighbors, locate businesses in your neighborhood. Business owners are much more likely to step into another business, step into a business and support a business that reaches out to them. Yet a lot of times we're not using that opportunity to the fullest capacity. So I want to talk to you about what restaurants offer in the community, because this is great. And I think it's very important. to think about this. And again, this helps you to build a deeper relationship with your neighbors. And as a restaurant, that should be a very big outbound function for you. And when I say outbound, I mean doing business development from the inside out. So not just relying on your network or not just relying on social media, but doing outbound connecting with potential customers and clients. And you should be focused for those in your immediate neighborhood. So this is why you should be proud to do that and be proud to have a restaurant and the opportunities that are there right in your community, the impact that you have in your community. First of all, the cultural exchange. Restaurants, if you're a restaurant, you're usually bringing delicious cuisine and food cultures to a community. Here in El Paso, where I live, Tex-Mex, Mexican food and culture is very deep and rich here. So if you're going to do Mexican food here in El Paso, if you really want to be profitable and really stand out, you're going to do it. You're going to do something real special with it. you know, also, you may be expanding or fusing Tex-Mex with other flavors in the community, which is what they're doing at the restaurant that I work with, Lola Rose. You know, they are bringing all kinds of flavors to El Paso and putting in several of their dishes. They're putting that Mexican spice to it, or they're giving it a spice or a flair that does still have the El Paso stamp on it, because Chef Marco is from El Paso, but he has opened restaurants in the Hamptons and he's been all over the world, and he brings those flavors back here to El Paso. Very unique style and absolutely delicious and very focused on being top shelf. So the clients are going to be top shelf, so that's very important to understand what it is that you're bringing to the table, literally, and then being able to help your team to understand that, and your front of house people to understand that, so that they can share that narrative and that story with all the guests coming in. And that story should be being told throughout the brand message. Social gathering places. So also the community involvement this is a space where people can come and celebrate. You should definitely be taking advantage of that and sharing that message locally, and really like targeted locally in the neighborhood, making sure that, this is why I love saying that restaurants should function like a B2B tech company, because when you're talking to your local, when you're connecting with your local businesses and the ones that are around you that you may not know yet, or who may not know you, most importantly, how can you communicate to these local businesses, hey, this is a great place for you to have your company party. This is unique. It's a great place for you to have your special moments and make, a great impression, and then continue to come back for lasting memories. Tourism. You want to make sure that you become such a household name in your neighborhood that it permeates through the city. Then you become a city household name. And then now globally, when you're getting visitors, now people are going to say, well, you have to go to Lola Rose if you go to El Paso or whatever your restaurant is. Obviously, I'm biased with Lola Rose because they have great food. I worked there. They have great food, great experience. I would highly recommend anyone to come eat there and to bring their greatest and best first experience there, because it's amazing. And I'm not sponsored by Lola Rose, but I have a high standard of experience, and I must say that Lola Rose does execute that. But what is your restaurant? You should feel the same way about your restaurant. If you don't feel that way about your restaurant, what will it take for you to get there? You need to do whatever it takes for you to get there. Because if you're not there, your team won't be there. So you have to get there so that you can get your team and attract people that are there. Because on the customer one in the community side of it, the community, you're not just attracting guests, you're attracting team and talent as well. And you want to have the kind of culture that attracts, retains, and continuously trains your team and the people that are coming on. And you want to attract, retain, and educate your guests so that they keep coming back. So all of that has everything to do with culture and everything to do with how you present, how you elevate your team, and you empower your staff, and you treat them with the utmost gratitude for being the uh, the the um, uh, the word is missing me right now. Being the megaphone for your values and your mission and your vision and your purpose and your experience, you better treat them with the utmost respect. And then you want to have a plan to develop yourself as a community staple, as a household name in cuisine in your neighborhood and then city and then region, so that you can be packing out the house. Then you're going to be able to retain quality staff. And then by continuously training them, you're going to continue to be able to bring in more profits, because you're going to keep helping them to guide your guests into the best experience that they're prepared to enjoy. So it all goes together. And it starts with community. So overall, restaurants are an important part of the community. They contribute to economic growth because you do create jobs, and not just jobs at your establishment, but now you are creating more jobs by the suppliers. If you're a local business, or if you're sustainability focused, then you're going to create relationships with food suppliers and farmers in your area. So the community aspect just continues to grow. Social cohesion and cultural exchange in your community. So, and obviously, you're going to be offering great food experiences that no one else is in your space, in your community. You're offer great spirits, wine, and drink opportunities that are not available anywhere else. And those are the things you want to focus on. And you want to have a great staff to offer those things and help to educate your guests through those things. And you want to have the technology on the front end and the back end to capture the information of everyone that's coming through your doors and that leaves, so that you can continue to inform them and remind them of who you are and what you have to offer by way of cuisine. And when you do that and you create those systems and you focus on optimizing and improving those systems and continuously training and up leveling your staff, then as long as people are spending millions of dollars per zip code in your area on dining out, which is what is happening in our area, and you can find those stats out for yourself by doing the market research, getting with your chamber, local chamber of commerce and things like that. And when you realize that there's a lot of money to be had and created, and the companies that care enough to invest in their people so that they will be ready to invest in connecting in new ways quickly to bring more people into the restaurant, you're going to be able to support your influx of guests and clients that are coming in, and you'll be able to give the best experience because your people will be invested in your vision and they'll be ready to offer that best experience that the guest is prepared to enjoy. And that is how it works. So I just wanted to make sure to come and share with you today a little bit. And I hope this was helpful. This was a conversation about how running your restaurant like a tech startup will revolutionize your business and make it more profitable than you could ever imagine. But you have to put in the work. But the beautiful thing about restaurants, and that's why I compare it to like a SaaS product, is because it's pretty much the same. Once you learn how to do it and once you get your systems in place, then it's just optimizing the systems from your marketing, from your sales, from your training, from your attracting the talent. But once you get the systems in place, and once you decide to continuously invest in your people and in coaching them up and training them up and making them the best staff possible, then everything else is tweaks. Then you can have fun running your business, but you have to put in that work in the front end. So I hope this helped. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat. I'll be happy to answer them. Also, I will put in the description how you can just reach me through LinkedIn, Instagram. I'm going to put my business links in the description so that you can reach out to me with any questions that you have. Otherwise, I hope this was helpful. Signing off, it's me, Michelle Emtre Hollis, with 5-Star Conversations in the Sun City, here to support you in growing and building an incredible restaurant brand from the ground up and beyond. Peace and blessings. High five to the vibe.